People see me in Japan and think I'm successful. They see the clean streets, the convenience, the salary, the opportunities. What they don't see is the responsibility I carry every month before I even think of myself. So I come from a family of 9 siblings. Today there are 8 of us. My parents are elderly and living in the Philippines. So, like many Filipinos working abroad, I became one of the people responsible for supporting the family. And this isn't a complaint. I love my family. I'm grateful for everything they have done for me. But there is a side of being a breadwinner that people rarely talk about. The burden is not always financial. Sometimes the heaviest burden is emotional. Every month, before I think about my own needs, I think about my parents. Are they okay? Do they have enough food? Can they afford medicine? What if an emergency happens? What if someone gets sick? The reality is that when you become a provider, you carry responsibilities even when you are thousands of kilometers away. You are physically in Japan, but mentally a part of you is always back home. There is always something to worry about. There is someone who needs help. And there is always a problem to be solved. And sometimes it feels like there is no room for failure. Because if I lose my job, and if something happens to me, many people will be affected. That's a pressure many breadwinners understand. People see success, but they don't see the invisible weight behind it. Being a provider is an act of love, but it can also be exhausting. And I think it's important for breadwinners to admit that truth without feeling guilty. One thing I've learned as an overseas worker is that people often misunderstand what it means to be a breadwinner. Many assume that because I work in Japan, I have unlimited money, that life is easy, that I can always send help whenever someone asks. But the reality is very, very different. People see where I live, but they don't see my responsibilities. What many don't understand is that the mercy and responsibility often feel like they are placed entirely on your shoulders. When your parents need food, when medicine is needed, when someone is struggling financially, how do you simply ignore it? How do you enjoy a comfortable life knowing that your family may be having difficulties? For me, I really cannot. I cannot sit comfortably and pretend not to care. That's why many breadwinners continue helping even when it hurts their own progress. Not because we are forced, but because we care, because we love, because we feel responsible. The hardest part is that many people will only see the money. They don't see the emotional burden behind every transfer. Every remittance often represents a sacrifice, something the breadwinner gave up for themselves. Have you ever felt that you're helping everyone else achieve their dreams, but yours remain on hold? I've felt that many, many times. Over the years, I have helped my family members in different ways, supporting siblings, helping relatives, assisting my nieces and nephews, contributing to the opportunities that could improve their lives. And I don't regret helping. But I would be lying if I said that there were no consequences. Every time I try to save money, something happens. Every time I try to move forward with my own goals, a family need appears. My house construction has been delayed many times. Savings plans have been interrupted. Investment goals have been postponed. Dreams that should have been moving forward years ago are still waiting. Sometimes I wonder how different my life would be if I only focused on myself. But then I remember why I helped. The challenge is finding balance. Helping a family should not mean abandoning your own future. I have no problem sending money to other people, but spending on myself, that's a different story. Whenever I buy something for myself, I feel guilty. A new gadget, a nice meal, a trip, even simple things sometimes make me question myself. Because in the back of my mind, I am thinking, what if my parents need medicine? What if someone calls tomorrow asking for help? As breadwinners, we often become experts at sacrificing our own wants. Over time, we convince ourselves that everyone else's needs matter more than ours. But here's something I'm learning: taking care of yourself is not selfish. Enjoying the fruits of your labor is not selfish. Investing in your happiness is not selfish. We deserve to enjoy life too. There's a difference between helping your family and becoming their bank, and sometimes the line becomes blurry. At first, help is occasional, then it becomes regular, then eventually it becomes expected. Sometimes it feels like people assume I always have money available, as if I can instantly solve every financial problem, as if my own needs don't exist, as if I don't have dreams and plans for myself. The difficult part is not helping. The difficult part is feeling taken for granted. There are moments when I feel less likely a family member and more like a financial safety net. And that feeling is really painful because helping should come from love, not from expectation. This is probably the hardest lesson I'm still trying to learn. How do you set financial boundaries with people you love? I struggle with confrontation. I don't like asking questions. I don't like creating conflict. But sometimes I find myself wondering, where exactly is the money going? Are there efforts being made to become financially independent? Are there plans for long term stability? Or has dependence become normal? These are difficult questions because the moment you ask them, guilt appears. You start wondering if you're becoming selfish. The truth is, I don't want to abandon my family. I don't want to stop helping. But I also don't want to sacrifice my entire future. I want to build passive income. I want to complete my house. I want financial security. I want to prepare for retirement. I want to travel. I want options in life. And I don't think those desires make me selfish. Maybe the answer is not choosing between family and yourself. Maybe the answer is learning how to support others while still building your own future. And I'm still learning how to do it. So if you're a breadwinner, maybe you are learning too. And perhaps that is one of the hardest journeys we'll ever face.